Two-man game, TMG, get the news fast, AMG, game of two boxes. Name two boxers that hit as hard as this. Yeah, we're cutting to the truth, no, there ain't no narrative. Eyes up on the cup this year, hear the stadium erupt this year. For my team, TMG.
Welcome to a new episode of TMG. Episode 36. No excitement this week. I'm not kicking the table. Kicked
You were too excited last week.
What famous players wears a number 36?
I have no clue.
There's no 36s out there.
Myth.
No, man. We're gonna be stuck because as the numbers get higher, less ballers holding the numbers.
It's true. Less ballers, less basketball players. Yeah,
Just wait until number 42 call that. Yeah. Anyway, move on. So this is gonna be predominantly boxing. We want to give you something new. We haven't touched on boxing a lot recently.
yeah. That's our
So we
boy.
got our boxing aficionado.
The main man,
Come on.
the safest hands in Bexley.
You know, what it is.
Big A.
Big A coming to give us some knowledge.
Let's go.
Give us some knowledge, you know.
Drop some dimes.
Drop some dimes.
I'll try, man. I'll try.
So it's always good to talk the sweet science.
Always, man. Always.
So let's start off with the big fight.
The biggest.
Billy Joe Saunders versus the pound for pound champ, Canelo. What was your takeaways?
I'll let the big man start.
So, it was a good fight for how long it lasted. It was worth staying up for. I think ultimately ended in disappointment, man. It was to be frank, Billy Joe quit. Don't want to. At the end of the day, the amount of attitude and the way he was talking before the fight, the way he was saying, the gypsy magic, I have to go out with my pulse, with no pulse, my brain's splattered, all this stuff, and he quits on his stool. At the end of the day, if you're talking that kind of talk, then you have to back it at the end of the day. So, I mean, in points, he boxed well. He boxed well in spurts. I gave him, I think I had it 4-4 at the time, to be honest, when he retired on his stool. I had it 4-4. But there was like one swing round. I can't remember which round it was, maybe the 5th or the 6th. Well, I see some people gave it to Canelo, so some people had it 5-3 to Canelo, which I can't argue with that as well. But yeah, disappointing end. But Canelo just showed the levels, man. All-time great, to be honest.
All-time great. That's what they're saying about
All-time
Canelo.
great.
So,
All-time great.
what was your takeaways, Melo?
It was anticlimactic, especially the way it ended. You know, it's gone just like that. The fight just finished. You know, especially on the stool. You know, there's no knockout. There's no knockdowns. It just ends just like that. And you know, the disappointing thing is that Billy Joe Saunders was in the fight. I was disappointed because even though he boxed well, like I said in spurts, but the officials, if you looked at the scorecards, they paid him no respect. You know, I think it was 6-2 down on at least two of the judges, and one of them was 5-3. 5-3, I can accept. You know, me personally, I had it anywhere between 5-3 to Canelo, even 5-3 to Billy if you wanted to be nice to him. But 4-4 was probably the most accurate depiction of the fight. The only issue was with Billy Joe Saunders I had it before the fight was that can he hurt Canelo? Can he keep Canelo honest? And the rounds that Canelo were winning were more decisive because, you know, he was pushing Billy Joe Saunders back, and as a judge you can visibly see, you know, he's causing him damage. When Billy Joe Saunders landed nice punches, boxing well, making Canelo miss, because he did frustrate Canelo quite a lot during the fight. But, you know, the judges, you know, they're kind of going to side with especially Canelo, the incumbent champion, so you kind of have to, you know, the saying in the box, you have to take the belt from him. And, you know, to some judges, they don't really think, you know, he's not really causing that much damage. He's boxing nice and cute, but he's not really forcing Canelo back, per se. But, you know, he retired on his stool. See, before, I said up to the fight, but at first I thought, you know what, it's an eye injury. I don't really play with that sort of stuff. You know, it's internal damage, stuff that you can't really see. Your sights are on the line. You can go blind, blah, blah, blah. Some guys, you know, because you know, eye injuries are delicate, you know, some eye could be bulged up and it could look worse. But then someone like Billy Joe Saunders' eye, you know, it could be less bulged up.
He said he was shot. His eye was shot
It could be less ball drop, but it could be more damaging. Like internally, the damage could be even more dangerous.
Done, isn't it?
So it's not something you could really see like from aesthetically, from the outside looking in. But when I looked back and it got brought to my attention that what you said about then Dubois, obviously you take into consideration the smack talk he was talking. As the gypsies do say, they're fighting men, we fighting from young, this, that.
All that talk, man.
And for you to go like that, like for example, if Tyson Fury went out like that against AJ, the talk that Tyson Fury does as well, it's the same thing. And so for him to go like that, I had to, put a hammer on him. And I had to be very harsh because at first I was going to give him the benefit of doubt, but nah, man.
So are we judging him based on his comments that he made about Dubois
100%.
on this topic?
Not just Dubois, just in general. Because me personally, I don't have many qualms with if you quit.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you're like moist or anything like that. At the end of the day, it's a tough sport. So if you go out like that, like the way Dubois did on his knee. I don't look at you lesser as a fighter. Sometimes things happen in the ring, but the way he was talking, boy, you better back that talk. You better back that talk, boy.
From what I would say is that Dubois' one was a bit more of consistently getting punched in the eye. Like Dubois came in he didn't defend himself, whereas Billy Joe's was just one clean punch. Yeah. And Canelo was setting him up. He was giving him punches to the body, and he was making Billy Joe flinch. He was expecting that punch, and when he expected it, he fell for the uppercut. And obviously, Canelo played him well. Do you think anyone in that weight class can handle Canelo's power?
The only one that could have was Golovkin, but he seems to have dissipated. And if he fought now, I think he would cause serious damage to Golovkin.
100%.
I mean, we'll see what Caleb Plant can do. He's similar to Billy, just on slick. Maybe because he's a natural super middleweight, he might be able to cause a bit more damage. He's pack a bit more of a powerful punch. But right now, that's the thing. From middleweight to super middleweight, if you think about this, like now Golovkin's pretty much gone. Who else is of that level to actually go toe to toe with Canelo and has the resume, has the experience, is being through the guys, and none of the guys have. You saw Andrade, Boo Boo. He was talking that talk, but him and the Charlos, blah blah blah. They haven't really fought enough guys. They haven't fought each other. If those guys fought each other and there was one man standing or a couple man standing, like cool. Those guys, they've had the experience. They've had the big fights. They've fought against top elite opponents. They built themselves up for Canelo. Canelo's resume is deep. Like he's fought a lot of guys. Obviously, he lost to Mayweather, but he's still fighting Mayweather. Experience stage.
Should have lost to Triple G as well.
Maybe one of them, but fair enough. Experience is there. He's fought Cotto. Maybe Cotto's over the hill. Experience there. Sugar Shea Mosley over the hill, but he's fought elite guys, legendary guys, and he's continued to do. He's fought. What's his name? He's fought Callum Smith. The guy before him.
Callum Smith was poor.
Yildirim.
No, not Yildirim. The guy before Callum Smith, the black guy. I can't remember his name. The American guy.
Danny Jacobs.
He's fought Danny Jacobs. He's fought quality opponents. That's why when he said to Boo Boo, who have you fought? Literally, who have you fought?
But I think Boo Boo, you have to be outrageous now in this climate, You have to come out.
No, I get what he was doing.
Yeah.
He has to do it. He has to do what's that guy? Is it Shannon Briggs?
Yeah.
For Klitschko. Just follow Canelo everywhere.
Even though Shannon Briggs is over the hill, but at least he's fought someone like Lennox Lewis in his prime back in the day.
Hey, Matt, look, you've seen all the experience. They still haven't beaten him. So what's the point of using that as a criteria? Might as well fight him when you can. In experience,
I'm not saying it's criteria for Canelo not to fight. Or them Canelo not to give him the fight. But I'm saying for them to have a realistic opportunity of beating Canelo, you need to get these experience under your belt. You need to get these rounds at the elite level. Because what these guys are doing right now, they're fighting all these other guys, and then the jump to Canelo is humongous. And you just can't do that.
You can't, man.
You know what I mean? Even the most talented guy, you really can't. Maybe the only guys that can do that are all-time greats. And if you're not an all-time great, you can't make that jump.
Did Billy Joe give any type of blueprint in fighting Canelo, or was it just simply that Canelo was just trying to figure him out?
If he had more power, then fair enough. If you have more power and can do what Billy Joe Saunders do,
then
that's probably the best. In my opinion, that's the best opportunity you have to beat him.
Is that the best fight he's had since the Triple G fights, or what would you say?
I like the Jacobs fight from a pure standpoint, but you could argue the Saunders fight. Yeah.
So where does Canelo go now, and where does Billy Joe? What would you say both of them go now after this fight? And what does that mean for the middleweight division in itself?
Canelo, obviously, Caleb Plant next, who's got the last title. So if he fights Caleb Plant, then that means he'll be undisputed, the first ever super middleweight undisputed champion. So that will literally stamp him in history.
Yeah.
He's already there, but that will just further his. Yeah. In terms of Billy Joe, I think he's probably I don't think he'll fight again. I can't lie. But because he's gone to the top. Before the fight, he was saying that he can retire anyway. He's a gypsy. Yeah. So like he's not really one for the lavish stuff. He was comfortable with what he had. And then now he's got how much he get paid for this fight.
Probably got the bag.
His biggest ever payday.
It was the
anyway.
biggest ever payday, packed out stadium.
Exactly.
I mean, I saw from one source, apparently Canelo got 25 and Billy got 3. But I don't know if that source I don't know if that source is credible.
That can't be true. That can't be true.
That pay gap is dumb.
Well, this is before pay-per-view, I think. So that's a guaranteed purse.
Okay, guaranteed purse. Oh, then obviously the supplementary on top of that.
Yeah, so if he hit like 7 mil, something
probably
like that,
hit
then
7. Yeah, so it's quite nice.
Yeah, it's life-changing money. So I don't think he'll box again. I don't think before the Canelo fight, his hunger for the game wasn't really there anyway. He was fighting all these like guys, these random guys like Martin Murray and stuff like that. So
the lack of hunger maybe played a factor as well. If you're fighting lower opposition and you're taking
like Melo said, he just jumped from he was his last fight, Martin Murray, to Canelo.
He hasn't even fought Callum Smith. Like he hasn't fought someone like a Daniel Jacobs. He hasn't fought
exactly
a Caleb Plant. You know what I mean?
And literally who's the best name on Billy Joe's resume?
The Canadian guy, probably.
David Lemieux,
yeah.
So,
but who's he? I mean, to be fair, apparently he was knocking guys out, but who's he knocking out?
He was. But it's a shame.
Caleb Plant. What would you say about Caleb Plant's chances against Canelo? Wow.
I don't think he's got much chance. I'd say he'll be a bit tricky. I think he can see the distance, but in terms of winning, I think Canelo will dispatch him.
To beat Canelo, like I said, you need to hurt him. You need to, because as people criticize him, they say that he has the judges on his side, and if you want to, and as the incumbent champion, you're gonna get that. Like even with guys like Mayweather and all those guys, they had that to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
To beat these guys, especially when they have that all around, you need to if not knocking them down, you need to visibly be hurting them, like stunning them, at least taking them out their game plan, like backing them up, making them hesitant. And in Canelo's fights, even if you're winning rounds, it's like, yeah, you're boxing well, but you're not really visibly hurting him or stunning him. And when you're not doing that, guys need to do that in order to beat him. But what we're taking the counter punch was fantastic. Like when you look back at slow mo,
the uppercut,
yeah, the pull counter, uppercut, and that's really kind of the first mistake Billy Joe Saunders, that major mistake he made, and he got punished. And it was, at that level, sometimes it's going to be one mistake and you're gone.
Level is like downloading, like you're facing a computer. He's just seeing everything you do. He's seeing all your reactions, and then when he sees the opportunity,
no, because in the previous rounds, Billy Joe moved to that side, multiple times in it to actually dodge what punch is it?
Uppercut.
The uppercut, yeah. He moved to that side, and then obviously Canelo telegraphed it eventually and caught him. His gum shield nearly came out as well. Had to push it back in, but Canelo, I don't really see him losing unless he steps up to light heavyweight and fights Beterbiev. Then there's like a real chance he could lose.
Yeah.
So the light heavyweight, you don't see him dropping down?
No, he's too thick now. He's too thick, and obviously you know what they say about his juicy beef. So the juicy beef, man. But yeah, I think if he steps back up to light heavyweight and then fights Beterbiev.
Beterbiev, and who's the other guy again? Other Russian?
Dmitry Bivol.
Bivol as well, yeah.
Hey, Russians at in that heavyweight division, so they're quite supreme.
The Eastern Europeans.
They're quite supreme boxers at that that weight.
They are, man.
So Canelo's got it locked up, basically.
I mean, yeah, my opinion, pound for pound, number 1.
100.
I don't really think it's like Crawford's probably second, but I think it's pretty close. I mean, skills wise, fair enough, but when you look at resumes, it's night and day.
Night and day, man.
I mean, as much as I have a lot of time for Crawford, great boxer, but his resume is poor compared to Canelo.
Mm-hmm. So, do you think Canelo's going to box for a long time, or is it coming to an end? Now he's conquered all of this.
Literally, he said the other day that he's going to probably fight for 7 more years and then he'll retire. And he's already past 50 fights already.
Yeah. He's been boxing since he was 15. I mean, as long as he stays healthy, you keep on boxing, get major paydays.
And
maybe one of these young boys can challenge him.
Maybe there's Benavidez, but Benavidez doesn't live the life. Yeah. He even got stripped of his title, so...
I mean...
But if he lived the life, then he could cause him problems. He's a big guy. He's huge. But I still would back Canelo to beat him.
I mean, for someone to actually beat him, my hope will be, what's it called, the lighter guys. But that road they're gonna take to be a lot more tricky. So the guys like Spence and Crawford, especially Spence, because he's bigger that weight. You have to hope he cleans the division. So it was that what's more for 7, goes 154, does well there, 160. And then maybe at a catch weight, I don't think he could go as size 160. Maybe he can because he's.
I think Crawford's a better boxer than Spence, though.
Sorry,
I think Crawford's a better boxer than Spence.
He's more technical, but Crawford, he's really gone up 3 weights. I don't see Crawford going more than 160 at max. And
but I just
Crawford.
I don't think he'll go up, but I think Crawford's a better boxer than Spence.
Yeah, technically speaking,
yeah,
he's
definitely
a boxer, but just the size and physical nature.
Spence is he's big at the weight still.
He's very big at the weight.
I think Spence is too scared.
What, scared of Crawford?
Yeah, he's scared of Crawford, and he's scared of Canelo.
He's not scared of Crawford, and I don't think he's scared of Canelo. I mean,
are you sure?
He's not scared of those guys. He's allowing the politics to dictate what's
100.
going on.
He is.
Say he's scared of those guys. He's not scared of those guys.
You think he'll take the fight if it was there on the plate? When Bud moves from whatever the mafia that he's in,
yeah,
top rank.
I mean, because even if he doesn't want to take it, he knows he has to take it because his resume, his career, his legacy will be tainted. So even if he was scared, let's just hypothetically say he's scared, he has to take the fight because he's got too much to lose. If he doesn't take the fight, like when you get to that level, when you're at that level as a boxer, this is the guy that you can see eye to eye in your division. The people knows, the fans, everyone knows this is the guy. If you don't fight this guy, they're not going to let you get away with it. That's why Mayweather was always going to fight Pacquiao, because he knew if he didn't fight Pacquiao, he never had the end of it. So Spence and Crawford, they know that.
Better not lose to Logan Paul. If he does, boy, the way people talk about his leg, it just takes one lucky punch. Logan Paul's a big boy,
Boy.
Logan Paul's. Shout out Logan Paul, he got the bag though.
Shout out him still.
They don't even need that fight, to be honest.
Well, not necessarily the bag for them because they're rich, like you said, but they got the status that that's going to do well for their career. Even more like propel them into new heights.
Hey, Mayweather better just knock him out, man.
For sure.
Next fight we wanted to talk about: Andrade versus Leon Williams. Takeaways.
Andrade was again good in spurts. He was delivering that uppercut dangerously, viciously, and Liam Williams couldn't really solve it. He couldn't defend it. But Williams is limited, typical British fighter. Just come here to have a scrap. He's a bit he's durable, tough. Done well to bounce back from the knockdown as well and see the final bell, but he even hurt Andrade as well in the 10th. In the 10th. But I don't think he actually realised at the time that he had him hurt. Yeah, he could have done some damage to him. But Andrade he's a decent champion. I don't really rate him too tough, but I don't really want to see him fight Canelo because he's gonna get crashed. So yeah, but other than that, it was a decent performance. Nothing special.
How did Leon Williams get a belt? Did he have a belt?
No,
he didn't have a belt.
That's what WBO. I mean, Andrade.
I think it was a mandatory, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably mandatory.
Yeah, I think it was a mandatory.
It was like a 6-win streak and 6 KOs or whatever. So fair enough. But yeah, like I said, durable, tough. Typical English tear up. Blah blah blah. Skills wise, lacking. Technique in terms of, at that level. Compared to Andrade, he's lacking. But I think Andrade, his uppercuts are great. He's a bit tricky. He offers awkward angles, this sort of stuff.
Actually, Klotz, before the knockdown, he was fighting in orthodox.
Yeah.
And then he switched to southpaw. Then he gave him the 1-2, and then Liam Williams didn't. I don't think he was comprehending. Didn't comprehend the switch at the time, and then he ate the 1-2.
He could have got rid of Williams early because he damaged him in the first round. He damaged his eye in the first round, which caused him inflicting major damage on Williams, but he didn't really finish off the job. He kind of let him off the hook, which he gets accused of. Because he boxes well, especially starts fast, but then kind of takes his foot off the gas, that sort of thing. Like I said before, he wants to fight a Canelo. I don't mind him trying to get the fight because as a boxer, you're supposed to do that. He needs to step up the level. William Williams is not going to cut. William Williams is not going to prepare you.
How do you step up the level? Who's he going to fight?
He needs to fight. I believe one of the Charlos is in his weight class. He needs to fight one of those guys. try to get a Golovkin fight. To be fair, he tried to fight Saunders before, and if I remember correctly, apparently Saunders got done for a banned substance. I think
Yeah, he did.
Nasal tap or spray, whatever. So that's another reason why I criticise Saunders as well, because he was getting onto Canelo for the beef, blah blah blah.
Juicy beef.
But he got
He
got popped as well.
as well, man.
But yeah, so he needs to fight someone that he can't just, like I said, you can't just do from A to Z. You need to do your B, C, D, E. You need to be finding the guys in between that are gonna prepare you for someone like a
How good are these Charlo brothers? Because you guys mentioned them a lot, but how good are these Charlo brothers?
I rate the Charlos. It's just like Melo said, they don't have the depth on their CVs, but technically and skill wise, they're good boxers. But one's better than the other. I always forget Jamal or Jamal.
I think the one with the 2 belts. I think he's got 2 belts of super welterweight. I'm not sure. It might be the middle. I can't remember which one, but
Yeah, I always get them mixed up. But
yeah, they're good guys. But as I'm saying, Andre's a good guy as well. But we need to see who's the best out of those guys, and
They're not gonna fight though.
they need to fight each other. And there's probably other guys in the middleweight division as well. Benavides needs to fight these guys as well. Mm-hmm. Could you give you and Caleb Plant? He's obviously going to be forced to fight Canelo because Canelo, or it's eventually relinquished. But they need to be building up their experience and their resume before they can jump to Canelo. Like, it's just that simple.
Canelo's got it on lock, and the other guys they're not fighting each other. Obviously, the pandemic is playing a role, but maybe when things open up, we can get those fights. They can build a resume, and then they can face Canelo.
Yeah,
hopefully, man.
Hopefully they fight each other. Then, like I said, be 1 or 2 standing, and then that guy, we can hope and give Canelo a real run for his money. A real fight. I mean, the last guy that gave Canelo a real run for his money, an ugly one, was Golovkin, and Golovkin was on a tear. He ran through the division, blah blah blah. Even though I wish he went up in weight, but he didn't.
It's a big. Golovkin could take his power, and
he could.
People can't. Not a lot of people in that division can take Canelo's power. That's the issue.
Yeah.
The thing is, you could argue Golovkin had more power, right? Because he was a knockout streak.
Triple G,
you know
man.
what I mean? Even though the guys he was knocking out weren't necessarily that great, but it was wide for everyone, and he has the power, like I said, to keep Canelo honest, to push Canelo back. These guys, they don't have the power to push Canelo back, so he just keeps walking through you, like you said, downloading information, adapting to what you have to offer, and eventually the counter punch or whatever punch he throws eventually just gets you out there.
Sad.
But if you do see the fact that Callum Smith did, you're scared to jab because his counter punch skills are that great.